Today is International Women's Day for Peace and Disarmament, and this is one of those observances that asks us to look beyond the surface of history. Because when people talk about peace, they often picture treaties, negotiations, political leaders, and the end of wars. But behind so many movements towards healing and non-violence, there have always been women carrying the weight of what conflict leaves behind. They have stood in the aftermath of violence and still chosen to rebuild, having protected children, cared for the wounded, organized communities, challenged injustice, and spoken for peace in rooms where their voices were not always welcome. Some did this publicly, with courage the world could see. Others made sacrifices quietly, holding families together while everything around them was uncertain. That deserves to be remembered. Peace is not the only absence of war. It is the presence of safety, dignity, compassion, and the belief that human life should never be treated as disposable. Women throughout history have understood that in deeply personal ways. They have seen the costs of violence in homes, neighborhoods, hospitals, battlefields, and generations of families forced to carry grief that was never theirs to choose. Their role in promoting nonviolence has never been small. It has been powerful, necessary, and far too often, it has been overlooked. International Women's Day for Peace and Disarmament reminds us to honor the women who refuse to accept destruction as the only answer. The ones who fought with wisdom instead of weapons, believing that protecting life was stronger than glorifying conflict, teaching us that courage can look like standing firm, speaking truth, demanding change, and choosing mercy when the world keeps rewarding aggression. There is a kind of strength and peace that people do not always understand. It takes strength to call for calm when anger is loud, to protect others when fear is everywhere, keeping that belief in humanity after witnessing the damage humans can cause. This is why we should appreciate the women of history who gave so much of themselves to create a better world. Some sacrificed comfort, safety, recognition, and gave years of their lives to causes that will benefit people they may never meet. Their work helped shape movements, communities, and conversations that still matter today. So when we speak about peace, we should also speak about them. Mothers who prayed their children would come home. Activists who challenged systems built on violence. Caregivers who carried compassion into places filled with pain. The leaders, teachers, organizers, and everyday women who understood that building peace is not passive work. It requires patience, courage, discipline, and a heart strong enough to imagine something better. Today is a reminder to value that legacy. It is also a reminder that peace still needs voices, people willing to reject violence as the first answer, communities that choose understanding over hatred, protection over power, and humanity over destruction. To every woman who has worked for peace, raised her voice against harm, cared for others through crisis, and carried hope into a world that felt broken, thank you. Your sacrifices, courage, and a place in history matters. May we never forget that some of the strongest forces of peace have always been the women brave enough to believe this world could be better than the violence it inherited.